Why are these verses important? What are the relevance for us? This person in divine consciousness. Anybody? Okay. Yeah.
Prabhuji, without reaching there, we can't practice bhakti.
We can't practice bhakti. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, two ways to think about this. One is Krishna subsequently says that this is the Brahmabhuta platform. This is the Brahmabhuta platform, and Krishna says, Brahmabhuta prasannatmana sochati akakshati samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. So, para bhakti. We will get para bhakti only when we come here. Okay. Now, what is then para bhakti? What is there something like apara bhakti? Para bhakti means supreme, or kevala bhakti, right? So we get pure devotion when we come to this stage. What happens before that? Before we come to this stage, what happens? What are we doing? So before coming to this stage, we might be practicing Mishra Bhakti. Okay. So this is a stage of transition for a devotee from Mishra Bhakti to Shuddha Bhakti in some sense, right? Or the other way of thinking about this is saying that a person in this divine consciousness, he is not in material consciousness. He is raised above material consciousness. So which means till one raises above material consciousness, we are concerned about the body and things connected to the body. We might be we might be concerned about la puja pratishta, position, fame, money, all these kinds of things, and we might still be doing bhakti. This is Mishra, mixed, because we still have some bodily attachment. So when we come to this stage of divine consciousness, then this Mishra Bhakti stops and Shuddha Bhakti starts, or Kevala Bhakti starts. So it's a very, very important milestone for all of us to reach. And of course, for us, the great advantage is that the process of devotion will take us through all these stages up to the ultimate perfection. So we don't have to worry about what needs to be done. But of course, then there are some things we have to do also alongside following devotional, sadhana, whatever has been recommended. We should also do something, right? Which is why when Arjuna tells Krishna saying that I can't follow your dhyana yoga process, why he says mana chanchalam astiram, right? So then Krishna says, no, it's possible. It's possible to control the mind. And he says by detachment and suitable practice. So suitable practice we are already doing, which is the process of devotional service. Now, but we also have to detach ourselves from things that we are too attached to. That's something that we have to try. For example, if like I've given this example, if somebody is used to, before coming to Krishna consciousness, say attracted by Hindi music, and now if you happen to hear some old Hindi songs and you start singing along, then you know that you're in danger. Right now you should avoid those scenarios. So that is one thing that we should do. We should try to avoid, and alongside practice the sadhana. Then what happens is, then the sadhana will have its required impact. If suppose say we are not protecting ourselves and we are exposing ourselves to material contamination without the strength to overcome it, then we might succumb. Then we will find it very difficult to come to this stage. Okay, so we will read through these verses. Very, very, exalted state this is for many of us. But like I said, we have to aspire to come to this stage. We have to aspire to come to this stage. Okay, so we'll go through these verses. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification." So your first thing, giving up all varieties of desire for sense gratification. And these desires, they arise from mental concoction. What does this mean? Desires arise from mental concoction means what? Anybody?
That,
Okay.
Which
Hari.
are not mentioned in the scriptures, like Manogatan, like arising from our whims.
No, it can be mentioned in the scriptures also. It's fine. Yeah.
The duality, bro. Like this is good, this is bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's just all this. We are just thinking in the mind that this is going to make me happy, right? And who does this make me? It's in connection with the body, right? So, for example, we want to go and eat some food outside. Now, why would we want to do that? Because we think that it's going to give us happiness. It's a mental concoction. It's not a reality. As in, there's no guarantee that if you go and eat, then you're going to be happy. At the same time, whatever this happiness is connection with the body. So it's all temporary and illusory. So, and it is just our mind. So, same situation, somebody else might not like it. I might like it. So, it's my mental state, my acceptance or whatever, whatever. Yeah, it's my state of mind, right? So, it's just my mind that is saying that this is good for you, this is not good for you. That is mental concoction. So, what happens when a man gives up these varieties of desires for sense gratification? Mind will become pure and find satisfaction in the self alone. Then it is pure consciousness. So now this is the Jnana Marga, right? In one sense, giving up these varieties of desires and mind becomes purified. For us, it is the reverse. What we are trying to do, we are trying to, by the process of chanting or by the process of devotional service, we are trying to experience higher taste by the chanting. So, a little bit at least we will find some satisfaction in the self, meaning in the Atma. And then by the process is so powerful that it will help us give up all these varieties of desire. But still, there'll be some things which will be deep rooted, for which we have to put little bit more effort, little bit more. We have to, beg for mercy and so on and so forth. But for those who are following the Gnana Marga, because this divine consciousness normally is the people who follow Gnana Marga. So for them, they have to give up all this. And then slowly their mind will become purified. But for us, process to purify the mind is proper chanting of Hare Krishna. And then automatically, gradually, this desires for sense gratification will reduce. That we've all experienced. Okay, but here it is giving up all varieties. So that will take some time. So as we continue to do our chanting process, we will come to this stage. Provided we are not adding contamination. Willingly, we should not be willingly adding contamination into our existence, right? And the important thing also is, I was discussing this in my class yesterday in Ulimau. So I was saying that, see, this the mind is attached to, it can be attached either to material things or to spiritual things. If you don't have any spiritual thing for the mind to be attached to, then naturally it will get attached to material things. So we need to have something which will make us absorbed in spiritual things, which is the reason why I keep saying that take up something big in Krishna consciousness. So then your mind will become absorbed. So that is one. The second thing is when we are chanting. What is the process of chanting? The process of chanting is that the mind has to concentrate on the hearing. See, while we are speaking, mind doesn't have to concentrate because we are used to speaking without thinking also, right? And so here, that is why process is saying that when we have to concentrate on the hearing. Now, when we concentrate on the hearing, then the nama is not different from Krishna, so it is transcendental. And because the mind now is focused on hearing and is in contact with the Shuddha nama, pure name, the mind also becomes Shuddha, purified. And that is why this is also called mantra dhyana. This dhyana on the mantra, meditation on the mantra, or focus on the mantra. So by this process, because the mind is focused on the Harinam, and Harinam is pure, mind becomes pure. Mind becomes free from Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, La, Puja, Pratishtha, all this. But if your chanting is not good, if you are not doing proper hearing, I've seen some devotees, they don't chant loudly. You know, in the beginning stages, if you don't chant loudly, there is very, very little chance that we will actually hear. So we have to try and chant loudly so that we can hear. And it is the hearing process which is going to take us through. Right? So also chanting process is purifying the tongue. The taking the names of Krishna is purifying the tongue. Hearing is purifying, it purifies the mind more than the speech. Anyway, all our senses are getting purified, mind is also getting purified, and we come to transcendental consciousness. Okay, so the first thing is giving up desires, material desires. Second, not disturbed in mind even amidst threefold miseries or related when there is happiness. Second quality. These are the symptoms. So we have to experience these symptoms. So material desires have to go, not disturbed, happiness or distress, second qualification. Third, free from raga, bhaya, krodha, attachment, fear and anger. Again, all of this is material. Free from material attachment, fear and anger. There can be spiritual attachment, there can be spiritual fear, there can be spiritual anger. What is spiritual fear? It could be that you have taken up some service and worry whether you can do it properly or not. Maybe there is fear, there is anxiety. All that is okay. That's all spiritual. But here, this is about giving up material attachment, fear and anger. So again, giving up material desires, not disturbed in mind when there are threefold miseries or happiness. 3, free from attachment, fear and anger. 4, he is not affected by good or evil. Sometimes something good might happen to us, sometimes something not good might happen to us, but he is not affected by this. He is neither praising it nor despising it. Firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Okay, so whatever is happening is because of my karma. I have to just experience. I'm just depend on Krishna. That's all. Not affected. Again, not disturbed in mind when there is happiness and distress. Not disturbed in mind when there is good or evil. One who is able to withdraw senses from sense objects. So here it says give up desires. Now then what happens if there are sense objects which come our way? Withdraw our senses from sense objects as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell. So this is very important. We are practicing sadhana, we have certain weaknesses, then, and we are trying to overcome them. And then when these situations come, when our sense objects get exposed to these things which can attract us, like I was saying, this Hindi song, we withdraw. Withdraw means we just go away from that place. We just cut ourselves off from that scenario, which can make us fall down. Now, for this also we need spiritual strength. Which is why we need the association of strong devotees who are advanced, more advanced than us, who have gone through these phases, who have, progressed. And then we can take their help when we are getting stuck helplessly in, some sense objects. We can take their help. Okay. But then, yeah, so this is the thing, right? Krishna is saying, now, if you are doing dry renunciation, meaning I'm just giving up sense enjoyment, but the taste for sense objects remains. Taste remains, but still you have to seize such engagements by experiencing a higher taste. So which is why the process of bhakti is this, right? So we are trying to restrict ourselves from sense enjoyment. Taste might remain, but we are experiencing higher taste. And so then this lower taste will go off. But how do we experience the higher taste? How does one experience the higher taste? Yes, Prabhu, there's a restaurant in Bangalore called Higher Taste. We just go there and we experience higher taste. But we're not talking about the restaurant Higher Taste. So how do we experience this higher taste?
We have to do chanting without offense. We go to
Chanting without offense. Okay. Okay.
When we do different devotional services, bro,
Okay.
maybe any sevas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the practical experience is you lose taste in other things, right? The mundane things which you've been attached to for a while, right? So you keep losing taste for other things. I mean, we may not directly experience that spiritual bliss, but at least you keep losing interest in other mundane things, and then
Yeah.
more interest in chanting the names. That is direct experience.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah. So, yeah. So we experience higher taste in the sense that amongst all these various angas of bhakti, there'll be something which really gives us natural happiness, right? Naturally, we feel like excited, happy, right? It could be kirtan, it could be prasadam, it could be philosophy, it could be something else, whatever, right? So we will have we should have at least one activity in Krishna consciousness which is giving us natural, some higher happiness, right? Which kind of attracts us. If we are not experiencing anything, then it will become tough. Then it will become tough. But at the same time, if we get attached to some thing which looks like devotional service, but which is not devotional service, then we are in trouble. So we also have to clearly understand saying that what constitutes devotional service, and ideally, as much as possible, it should be core to whatever acharyas have given. For example, somebody becomes attached to, say, playing guitar during kirtan, for example, right? Now, he might be experiencing a higher taste by doing that, but that's not very ideal because that's not one of the recommended instruments in kirtan, right? So it's better if that then, if that kind of attraction to music or whatever, it should then be changed to acceptable instruments, and still maybe music should become the theme and not the specific instrument. So then we should be ready to accept the suggested instruments and then still experience the higher taste, like that, right? Eating is easier, right? Everybody can understand. Everybody wants to eat nice food. Okay, eat prasadam, so experience higher taste, and you can stick to so many people just come for prasadam, right? So, but there has to be some aspect of Krishna consciousness in which we should have experienced higher taste. And there is higher taste, but because we are jaundiced, the Prabhupada says we are jaundiced, we can't experience it because everything tastes bitter to us at this point of time. Right? But something we have to experience, which is a higher taste. That is very, very important. If you are not, then you have to really introspect. Krishna. The senses are so strong and impetuous that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. So it's very tough to artificially do this. That's what the point Krishna is saying, that this taste sense enjoyment is so strong that senses are naturally very strong and impetuous. Impetuous means they don't come under our control. They forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination. So discrimination is thinking, okay, this is right, this is wrong, this I should do, this I should not do, and he's endeavoring to control them. Still he loses control over senses. So important thing is to experience a higher taste. So one who can restrain his senses and fix his consciousness upon me, this is the important thing. Krishna did not say one who just restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, is known as man of steady intelligence. But Prabhupada is also saying he has to fix his consciousness upon me. So the whole process has to be centered around Krishna and Krishna conscious activities. So we experience higher taste, then, but we might still be attached to some lower taste. But what we should try to keep our consciousness in Krishna, and we should try to control our senses, or we should just stick to the process of devotional service, follow it steadily, properly, seriously, sincerely, intensely, then automatically the senses will come under control. Okay, so the key here is to experience this higher taste. And then Krishna talks about the process. Now, how the sense gratification works. So these few verses is about how difficult it is to get over sense gratification. That's what, and Krishna is intermediate in the intermediate verses also saying that the solution is to come to him, to experience higher taste in relationship with his service, and so on and so forth. And again, he's saying, yeah, while dhyato vishan pumsan, so contemplating on objects of senses, person develops attachment. From attachment, lust develops. From lust, anger arises. From anger, complete delusion. Then bewilderment of memory. Then intelligence is lost, and one falls down. This is the very quick process of fall down. So why Krishna is talking about fall down? Because this is the person we are talking about, a person in divine consciousness, right? So somebody who's attempting to get there, he is not able to restrain his senses. Suddenly he sees some object and he gets attracted to it. Then his mind, he becomes deluded. Then he loses memory that, oh, I'm not this body, I'm spirit, soul, this is not good for me, etc. Then so the remembrance also is gone, intelligence is also gone, and then one just succumbs. This is the process of fall down. So again, to avoid this process of fall down, it's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. So one has to fix consciousness upon Krishna. One has to experience higher taste. Otherwise, this process cannot be broken. We cannot get over this. Like I said, for in everybody's life, there'll be some aspects of our material contamination which will go off very easily. There'll be some which can give us real trouble. And that is this process. Those are the things which are going to pull us down. And in those situations, we have to, to overcome those situations, we should remain fixed in Krishna consciousness. Okay. Yeah, and which is why even this person who is endeavoring, sincerely endeavoring, even if he falls down, Krishna says, api chet su duracharo bhajate mam ananyavak sadureva samantaviha. If somebody is very intently trying to practice Krishna consciousness, and he's trying to raise himself to the divine consciousness, but still some fall down happens, it's okay. Sadhureva samantaviha, he should be considered as sadhu, because this attachment to this sense gratification is, the sense enjoyment is very strong. Senses are very strong. Okay. So another interesting thing, because the senses are very strong. When somebody is very strong, nobody can stop them. They'll do whatever they want, right? Either physically strong, or they feel strength because they have some money, position, etc. They are okay to do any wrong thing. Now, when will they when will they stop this nonsense? Is when they are humbled, when their strength is lost, when they lose their strength. That is why this process of punishment is for us to lose our strength and depend on Krishna. So we keep getting punished till we completely depend on him. And then we lose this strength of our senses, strength of our mind, strength of our, some pride because we have some money, position, all these kinds of things. Yeah, Vamsi Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, here it's mentioned that, since senses are so strong, it also, puts us into material, into the material world a lot. Like when it's a new devotees, or people who are new, to supersede it, we have to give higher taste for them, and then slowly they'll be able to come out of this sense gratification, right? So how do we do this for new devotees, Prabhu?
No, new and experience same. Even for practicing devotees also, we have some material attachments.
Yeah.
And then for new devotees also, they'll have material attachments. And the process is the same. Engaging them in, for them, the thing is, first is you have to identify what are they attracted with in Krishna consciousness. So somebody wants to do service, somebody wants to do kirtan, somebody wants to do flower decoration, somebody wants to do something else. Engage them in the relevant service. Somebody actually likes reading, engage them, encourage them in that service. Then automatically they will be fixed in that higher taste, and then they will make progress. Same thing for devotees also. Practicing devotees also same thing. Because we are mechanically doing this, sadhana every day. But if we actually do sadhana properly, sadhana itself will pull us out. But because many devotees don't engage in serious sadhana, what happens is, then overseeing devotees have to make sure that they don't lose taste. So then they have to give them something practical to retain their taste, or to give them that higher taste. I see this all the time, just unfortunately devotees don't do their sadhana properly, and then they don't experience higher taste. Otherwise, every aspect of Krishna consciousness can give us higher taste, right? Just talking for 30 seconds with a devotee can give us a higher taste, can give us that happiness, right? Just one morsel of prasadam can give us happiness. But we unfortunately we are not able to practice at that level. So, and then therefore there's always a risk. So overseeing devotees have to be very careful, identify these, who are on this verge of falling down, pull them up, give them something else, encourage them. So it's a lot of work. Okay. But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses, he can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. See, if we want mercy, everybody says, I want mercy. So Krishna is saying here, how can one get mercy? One has to give up this material attachment, this attraction, aversion, all this. How? Through regulative principles of freedom. Regulative principles, saying, okay, okay, 4 regulative principles: don't eat outside food, don't watch TV, don't go to movie. All these kinds of things are regulative principles, because they are helping us to control our senses. So one who is free from all these, he gets complete mercy of the Lord. Otherwise, we can't get complete mercy. Which is why Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. Krishna is ready to give this jiva pure devotion, which is the complete mercy of the Lord. Right? So we have to somehow hold on to the process, have, retain some taste in some Krishna conscious activities, hold on to other devotees who can help us out, pull us out, and then slowly, steadily, we have to absolutely come to this stage. We have to come to this stage. Otherwise, we are not making progress. For one thus satisfied, threefold miseries exist no longer. Again, same thing, right? So it becomes, he raises above this material consciousness. So his consciousness is in divine consciousness. So he's satisfied. And his intelligence is soon well established, meaning he doesn't now engage his intelligence in material things. Now, but for all this, what is the key? Connection with the Supreme. If one is not connected with the Supreme, then no transcendental consciousness, no steady mind. And without that, there's no possibility of peace. If there is no peace, how can there be happiness? So clearly Krishna is saying. So one who is not connected with the Supreme, to achieve all this, we have to be in touch with the Supreme. Then we can have steady intelligence, we can have transcendental intelligence, we can have steady mind, we can have peace, and we will experience happiness. But again, he says, see, it's very difficult because strong mind, strong wind sweeps away boat on the water. Even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away man's intelligence. So, one whose senses are restrained is actually steady, or a person of steady intelligence. Because it requires steady intelligence, right? To say, no, this is not good. This is not good for me. So Krishna is saying, see, it's difficult, but solution is me. It's difficult, but solution is me. So alternate verses, almost Krishna is saying, come to me. It's tough. I know. Everybody's conditioned and struggling. Come to me, connect with me. Okay, and then yeah, he's saying what is night for all beings is day for the introspective sage. Yeah, both literally and figuratively. Literally means actually people are sleeping when people in the time when people are sleeping, serious transcendentalists wake up, right? So many devotees wake up at 3 o'clock, which is amazing, right? So serious stuff, serious business. And also, what is night? Meaning topics that appeal to devotees don't appeal to materialists. So it's like day and night. And don't think that you can keep fulfilling your desires and you can come to this state. So Krishna is saying, no, no, no. You should not become disturbed by the incessant flow of desires. Only then you can achieve peace. And we should not think that no, no, no. See, we can't suddenly just cut ourselves off sense enjoyment. So I should just fulfill a little bit here and there. Krishna is saying no, you should not, because you'll never be able to come out of that then. So you should not become disturbed when there are desires, and you should understand by intelligence saying, no, this is not good for me. Again, we might succumb initially. Again, increase our sadhana, increase intensity of our sadhana, take guidance from other devotees, make sure that we don't get affected by these desires. Only then we can come to this stage. The man who strives to satisfy such desires does not achieve peace. His mind is troubled. He remains in material consciousness. And so he is concluding here, gives up all desires for sense gratification, lives free from desires, given up sense of proprietorship, devoid of false ego. He alone can attain real peace. So this is coming to the transcendental consciousness. And then he will attain real peace. Then actually he will achieve happiness, because Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. So he'll become Prasannatma. So Krishna is saying this is the way of spiritual or godly life and godly life. So this is divine consciousness. What is Brahma Bhuta? Krishna is not talking about bhakti here. Krishna is just talking about Brahma Bhuta stage. After attaining this, a man is not delivered. If one is situated like this, even at the hour of death, suppose say we didn't achieve this all our life, but just before dying, we came to this state, one can enter the kingdom of God. Of course, here kingdom of God means somebody looking for gnana. They will go to Brahman, right? Somebody who dies in this consciousness, he will have again definitely come back, take another birth as a devotee, make progress, achieve perfection. So we'll enter. Today or tomorrow, we'll enter the kingdom of God. Okay. So the key points to note here. What are the key points? Give up all varieties of desire for sense enjoyment. Be equipoised. Don't be disturbed in mind when there's happiness or distress. Don't get affected by good or evil. And why Krishna is saying all this? Because if there is some good or evil, our mind gets absorbed in this. If there is happiness or distress, mind gets absorbed in this. That is not transcendental consciousness. That is material consciousness. So he's saying, yeah, unless you get unaffected, there's no way that you can free your mind from this. Otherwise, naturally it'll get attracted, it'll get affected, and it'll keep contemplating those things. So we should not get affected. We should know, saying that, okay, I'm Atma, I'm not the body. Whatever is happening is to this body and not to the Atma. And yes, whatever is happening is because of my previous karma, and anyway, I've surrendered to Krishna, I depend on him. I should have suffered more, but he's so merciful. All this philosophy should be fixed in our mind. So when some good or evil happens, you should just become unaffected. Then withdraw senses, don't leave them free. Don't try to fulfill your desires, material desires. Experience higher taste. Right? Even while you are engaging in some higher taste, your senses will pull you here and there. They're very strong. So somehow you keep them away from sense objects. Otherwise, if you think of sense objects, you will fall down. And only in this stage can you get the complete mercy of the Lord. When one gets the complete mercy of the Lord, he actually gets peace and happiness. That's all. Yeah, so and be free from sense of proprietorship and devoid of false ego. So these are all the qualities that we have to develop. So we can see where we stand and how much more we have to work to actually reach this stage. And this is our first milestone. We have to reach this. Okay, so I'll stop here. If there are any comments, questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
I would like to share something and
Yeah.
ask for your help also. Prabhu, I live in a society and
Mhm.
the sense gratification materialist is very, very strong. Every festival, there is a dance, there is a tea, there's a high tea, there's lunch, there's dinner, everybody, all the full building is down in there, all decked up, dressed up and all that. And most of the time, 99% of the time, I and Prabhu do not go into it.
Mhm.
And this time, Dandiya happened, like usual.
Mhm.
And the grandmothers were dancing. And
Okay.
then the videos all flash around. And, they are all my children, apne kyun nahi kiya, apne kiya.
Mm.
Like Prabhu once, I mean, that the state, I mean, the day passed away, yes. But then I said, yeah, I could have also gone down. Na? ये सारे कपड़े सब पहन के आते हैं सब Prabhu, I mean, then 1 or 2 days you're dwelling at it. I mean, then it goes away. How do you tackle that also? And sometimes you get bottled up also. I mean, we talk about higher taste, yes, all the time, unless you're in the temple or you're, but this is just it's happening right under my nose, just right at the building. How do you tackle it? It's a very difficult problem. And
Yeah,
even
it's
if you
difficult.
do, you dwell on it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, which is why, living in the city and in the midst of all these kinds of things is pretty challenging, is difficult. It makes things difficult. At least for us, this was a big challenge. And one of the reasons actually we decided to move out of apartment a few years back was to avoid all this. Because it is tough, right? I mean, how do you prevent? You might prevent yourself, but still, then there will be other challenges. Like, for example, my daughter used to say, "You people don't come, you don't engage in all these kinds of activities." Other parents are there. Now, all these kinds of challenges were there. So then we decided saying that it's better that we don't live in a society like this, which actually is pushing us to become non-Krishna conscious. Now, that is one option. Now, for those who don't, if that option is not available, then yeah, it's a struggle we have to go through.
Now, Prabhu and I don't keep well. I mean, I have a disease called Sjogren syndrome, and he's been undergoing through me surgical this thing. And when the children moved into the society, I would wanting to move into the temple, and the children said no. Now, Prabhu, like it is a challenge.
Yeah.
Day and
Challenge.
night,
Yeah.
it is a challenge for
Yeah,
me.
it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and
then I dwell on it, because the taste of the old songs, I'm immediately connecting with the hero. I'm immediately connecting with the heroine, and I can see the shift of my mind. And
yes,
kar
yes.
sakte the, ja sakte the, kya ho gaya? I'm still chanting. I'm like good judge. I'm a good lawyer to all my mind and my. Then I sit down and fight with Prabhu. आप लेकर नहीं नीचे जाते मेरे को ऐसा क्या है? I mean, I'm not. Am I not? It brings in a lot of disturbance into my life.
Yeah. It is tough, Mataji. I mean, some of these things, which is why when we go through all these difficult situations, we become strong. We become
I
more
don't know
Krishna
whether you become
conscious.
strong or you become rattled. I don't know, but since the topic has come up and you said ask for help, because I see that it brings a lot of shift into my and Prabhu's relation also. Tumne say, like you're trying to blame, you don't want to take the blame. I don't know if it is helping others, but I'm giving you a very clear picture of what I go through many a times. Every time I can't be in the temple, and the distance has become so much. Even if it's almost a 1.5 traveling. I'm not blessed that I could 24 hours be reading or chanting, though I could do it.
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
difficult for me from right now. From last 2-3 years, I've been going through this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because this is a kick which gives me a kick, like, you know, yaar, अच्छा उधर जाके कूद लेते हैं खाने.
Yeah.
No, what do you suggest, Trevor? I mean, cleaning the house is not.
Now,
practical.
what I suggest is not practical for your
No,
situation,
it's
right?
not.
So,
It's not.
yeah.
practical.
So, yeah. So,
They will not let me stay in that temple also, because, you know, many times in the night, like, Prabhu needs help.
correct.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
No, it's
I need
practical.
help.
Yeah, it's practical. It's practical. Yeah. Somehow we have to we have to just fight our situations. More absorption. I actually see one thing I can say, which at least I mean I've seen many a times. At least so far in my whatever limited experience in Krishna consciousness, one thing that has repeatedly helped me is my sometimes I get into very serious prayerful chanting. Sometimes I'm saying not all the time.
Yes, Prabhu, it's with
Yeah.
everybody. Like,
Yeah. So when we are in these kind of situations, we can get into this prayerful chanting, begging for help. And I've seen that actually very recently, actually last 1.5 months, I've been, you know, I had some few challenges, and you know, I started, you know, my chanting little bit intensified, and actually so much. I mean, I was surprised, saying that, you know, mercy came through, right? And actually, what I was struggling with, I was surprised. Actually, I didn't think that I would be able to overcome it so soon at all. And at least 95% I'm there. Maybe another 5-10% here and there going off. But and I was pretty, you know, pleasantly, I was pleased. I was happy, saying that, you know, that actually Krishna reciprocates so mercifully, you know, Radha and Krishna, when we actually beg for something, right? We are in a helpless stage and we beg. But we should have at least the one thing, you know, is that at least I should be firmly fixed in this desire, saying that I want to overcome this. I don't want to get attracted by this dandi. I don't want to get sucked into these things. That desire has to be there, strong. Then even chanting is, I mean, we don't have to be in the temple, but chanting prayerfully is as good as being with Krishna and Radha. So that will have its effect. But if we are that, for which is why this steady intelligence, Krishna is talking about steady intelligence here, saying that, see, our intelligence should at least be clear. Okay, mind is getting pulled, the senses are getting pulled. Intelligence should say, at least say, Baba, this is not good for you. You're again going to fall into material consciousness, and again you will have to come back to this material world. What fun, right? At least the mind, at least the intelligence, if not the mind, intelligence should say, this is not good for me. So let me pray for help. This is the only thing I can think of, right? If there is no other practical solutions, then this is definitely something that can be
like
done.
Prabhu, when I was in the yatra in Ahubalam, the day we were returning at 4:00 in the morning, Prabhu, you know, fell sick. He was perspiring, like, you know, he was breathless, and like, fortunately, he just pressed this thing and called the help which was there. And he like, my children are just next door, like, the other, both the sons came, they hospitalized him. So Prabhu, like, certain things, you know, like, certain things are, you know, it's not, I cannot help it.
Correct.
Sometimes, you know, the song, I don't know, Prabhu, like, you know, it's easier. The only, and you're saying beg.
No, that
like,
begging works, Mataji. I mean, I have seen that.
Yeah, like, sometimes even that, Prabhu, like, Krishna consciousness is not as easy, and everyday's battles are not easy, Prabhu.
No, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, because, you know, like, lifetimes and after lifetimes we've been in this situation, right?
And Prabhu, like, I mean, your incident, you're saying, some people get mercy easily. Some people, like, I don't know, maybe it's directly proportionate to how much of effort you put, or sometimes it is not even directly proportional. Somebody get it very easily.
No, it's not like that. It's actually the intensity with which you pray, right? Like, how helpless you are, how really badly you want to overcome the problem, which is why I said, you know, you're like literally like there should be tears in your eyes saying that, no, I don't want this. I don't want this. If we are emphatically on this platform saying that I don't want this, I don't like what I'm seeing, I want help, Krishna, Radha, please help me. Definitely help will come. Definitely they will show mercy. Right? But that intensity has to be there, saying that I don't want this. To that intensity, it is proportional. So how intense our prayer is, to that intensity, the mercy proportionately flows. There is no other criteria. Of course, Shastra says, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says that there are some very, 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 very rare occasions when Krishna just gives mercy. Now, this is not for all, at least, not for like people like me. It's a very rare, some very, very rare scenarios, right? Like 1 out of a million or something like that, right? But for most of us, practical is beg with intensity, mercy comes.
Like I say, me and Prabhu, I say, like, he's not affected with what goes down. He'll say, Jane do. So when I get raffled, then, when he says, maybe to whom, then I said, yeah, your senses get, all your senses, I tell him, you're in the temple, so you deal with everything, or you're in the office. He says, for me, I'm 24 hours here. So Prabhu, even the flow of it, I suppose everybody has to fight their own battles and come out of it.
Yeah, we have to fight our own battles, Mataji. Anyway, but the principles are the same. Situations might be different, right? But the principle remains the same. It's just it's still the same, right? Irrespective of whatever situations are. But yeah, some could be more grueling than others. Like, yeah, if there is nothing else for mind to engage our mind, right? Which is the reason why we always have to have something in Krishna consciousness which is attracting which keeps us focused, and which is why some major project we have to take. Otherwise, we don't have anything else to think about, right? Which is why all our Grihastha devotees now, Kartik is starting next 3 months. They don't have time to breathe, right? Because there is, now Damodar, then there's Deepdan, and we are also trying to do book distribution now. Then we have to prepare for marathon. So next 3 months is just going to be just day in, day out. Devotees are just going to be engrossed in just seva, right? And they really, I feel sometimes, challenged, because when I was working, I never could find so much time to do all this. And these devotees are so nicely engaging in so many services. And I know that they will make more progress than me, much faster progress than me, because they are doing all the right things. Right, and their consciousness is absorbed. They are, they're committing themselves to Prabhupada's mission, and these things will definitely help them, right? Which unfortunately I didn't do when in my early years in Krishna consciousness, right? But so if we can do all these things, then automatically our mind will not find shelter in some material thing, because it has no time. I have this something to do. I have this goal now. I have so many books to distribute. I have so many, programs to run, etc., etc. So everybody has to get occupied somewhere in Krishna consciousness.
Prabhu, what you've done, giving up a job and sitting, is not an easy thing. It needs a tough mind and a tough decision. And maybe since you couldn't be doing it, like you said, you see others doing it, maybe that peck of it has, being in your shoes, maybe I couldn't have done it. I know so many a few devotees who've done this, but it's not easy, Prabhu. I'm talking, I don't know. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not.
Okay. So anyway, so the summary of the conversation is that, yeah, we can all get into difficult situations. Just somehow try to keep mind absorbed in Krishna consciousness through something which attracts you, or which you take up as a task, as a seva, and keep your mind occupied, right? And when you get into trouble, still beyond all that, beg for mercy. This is the principle, right? Whatever is the situation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Yeah, thank you, Harish. Okay, anything else? Anybody?
Prabhu, please pray for us. You're joining the yatra.
Yeah, sure, Mataji.
Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody? Okay, so we will resume our sessions back on Monday. So next Monday. So we will start with 3rd chapter, and then so we will finish the summary. This is useful, I think, right? Because most of us would have. These are the same, our bread and butter issues that we will all go through. So we will discuss this, and then we'll go back to Bhagavatam. Okay. Thank you all for joining.
you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Vancha
Hare
kalpatarubhyascha
Krishna,
kripa
Prabhuji.
sindhubhyascha
Prabhuji, can you
patitanam
please
Yeah.
upload to your channel, Prabhuji, whatever has been done in this summary, so that we
Sorry,
can
I'm
go
not
through it.
able to hear you.